Welcome to the Princess stand at the Cannes Yachting Festival, where behind me here is the world premiere of the new Princess V50 Open. So they have already launched the V50 deck saloon. We haven't yet seen that in the flesh, but this is the open version. So instead of having an fully enclosed deck saloon, it is a proper open sports boat with a hard top that's open at the back. Now, this is in fact an all new hull. Even though it's very similar in size to the old V48, they have actually created a brand new hull. It is a little bit longer and the beam carries a bit further aft and a bit further forward to make it a bit more efficient and make sure that the weight distribution stays the same, and also increase the waterline a little bit. So similar in size, but it is in fact an all new hull, not least because they built so many of the V48s that the hull molds had in fact worn out. So the difference between this and the deck saloon version, as well as being open, is that the whole layout of this deck is different. So you get a sun pad at the stern with a tender garage underneath. You can fit a Williams 325 under that stern garage. They have sadly switched the electrics off, so I can't lift that and show you there, but it is an electric garage that opens up, and this hydraulic platform drops down into the water, and then the tender can simply slide out into the water from there. You can see we've got the shore plough plugged in here, but that attaches in a little locker in there. We've got a passerelle that extends out from there, and you can see there is access up both sides. This one goes directly to the side deck. This one takes you into the cockpit itself. Now, it's very fresh off the production line, this boat, so there are one or two elements that still need to go on once the show is over. There should be a little gate here just to provide an extra element of security. And in fact, the air conditioning, they didn't have time to fit that either. So we'll see there is a sort of temporary air conditioning system. But let's just saunter up the side deck. You can see there is a decent side deck here. Not the widest in the world. There's just about room to get 2 feet side by side, but there is a huge opening hard top here. And again, one of the differences here is that this is in fact a solid hard top. You can see it has got big glass panels in there, but rather than having a fabric roof, it is solid. So just a little bit more secure. Make sure it's absolutely watertight, but you still get a really big opening above the helm station and into that deck cockpit area. A couple of sun pads up here, neat mouldings to take your beer or glass of wine. See, I don't think these do prop up, actually. No, they don't. You can see that they are attached in there, so they won't blow away, but they are just flat cushions. You can't prop up the headrests. Really nice tall guardrails all the way around. See, there's a hatch leading into the VIP cabin there. A nice, easy to access deck gear. You've got your fair leads, cleats, and of course the anchor windlass. And that steeply raked guardrail goes right out over the anchor to help give you that long, sleek look. It just projects right out at the same angle as the hull. We come back down this side, and there is an opening window here. That's a really nice feature for the helm station. That drops down, so although you don't have a door, there is a big window, making sure there's lots of fresh air coming into the boat. So make our way back down into the cockpit. We'll have to do the full loop round to get back in. So it looks a little bit busy. We might have to give it a bit of time before we have a look in. So let's just take a little look at this cockpit area while we can. So really nice C-shaped seating area here, big teak table. Quite interesting use of the grain on the wood. Rather than having just a simple straight grain, they've got diagonal grain, straight grain, all adding a little bit of interest and detail. Very smart, nice cream cushions, and plenty of space to sit around that table. And then what they're terming a proper outdoor galley here. So rather than just being a simple wet bar, you have got a grill, you've got the sink, you've got an ice maker there. There is room for a fridge in there. I don't think it's fitted to this one. I think what this has got though is a cool box here. So as well as having a fridge, you can have a cooling area for drinks in there, or keep your whole bottles. And this rather neat area for glasses and bottles too. Again, they haven't equipped it, but you can see that the tumblers and glasses can go in there, and there's room for bigger bottles back there. And then over here, we have got more storage. That's where the bin goes. Again, it hasn't yet been fitted. And we've got the shut-off valves for the fuel and the fire suppressant for the engine room. A few switches here. We've got the garage door, foredeck lights, cockpit overhead, cockpit lights. So again, this all lights up. You can see lights in the ceiling. Gives it a really nice glow at night. It's rather cool kind of cut-out effect for the helm station. Very nice, clean helm. Got that 3-spoke wheel. Very nice, clean layout. Got all the switches that you really need access to. Bilge pumps, horn. That's the sunroof itself, anchor windlass. And then 2 touchscreen Garmin screens, MFDs. Gives access to everything you need. Got navigation on here. All the engine systems information there. The wheel itself tilts up and down, you can see, so suit whatever angle you want to have it at. Throttles for the 2 IPS 650 engines, so 480 horsepower each, gives a top speed of around about 30 knots, and of course you've got the joystick control for that, so very easy berthing, nice and simple. And there's that drop down window from the inside, so you've got great communication out with the deck, and then this huge opening overhead that lets all that sun in, and you really can feel it on a hot day like this. So on the port side, there's this nice little not navigation area. It's just somewhere for somebody to sit alongside. You can either face back and catch the sun, or you can keep the skipper company just by facing forward. So it works both ways. You can face back and chill out, you can face forward, underway, and of course you have got the navigator seat there. So you've got the helm station or helm seat and a co-pilot or navigator alongside them. And it's always nice to have that outside of them so they can come and go while whoever's driving the boat can stay at the wheel. It looks like we're just clearing out downstairs a little bit. So let's drop down into the saloon. Now, because this is an open cockpit upstairs, this is very much the lower saloon. So you've got the galley over on the port side, and then this lovely seating area over to starboard. Now you can actually have that as a separate cabin if you want it. It would be unusual on this boat because you haven't got the deck saloon, but on the deck saloon version that is more usual, you can have that sectioned off. You have a separate bulkhead there, and then you get twin bunk cabin there. But on this version, this is the more normal layout where you have a dinette area, but can also lower that table to turn that into an occasional berth if you need it. Now, here's this temporary air conditioning I was telling you about. Obviously, that is not how it's going to be. There will be a built-in compressor, but a little bit noisy at the moment, so just forgive that. But got the fridge in there, you can see, and a freezer down below. I won't open that, but they all secure nicely for passage underway. There's a big sink in there. That looks like another cold storage unit in there. Microwave oven, 3-ring hob, more storage up above. Nice, clean, simple design, everything you need. Not a huge galley, but everything you really need for a week or so cruising away. Nice big hull windows either side with little opening port sections to let in some fresh air. And again, there is more storage up above here. Now, the forward VIP is in the bow section. It shares its bathroom with a dayhead, so it has what we sometimes call a Jack and Jill doors, so you can access it from the saloon and use that as the dayheads, but it also has an ensuite door into the cabin itself. You can see there's a corner shower, completely separate, toilet, sink, and really good space actually. There's good floor room in there. And then through into the VIP cabin itself. Again, big island double berth here, hull windows, small round opening ports. It's all in this lovely Alba oak, they call it. It's very light, almost white coloured oak, but you can have a mid-coloured oak called Revere, and then you can have walnut. Most of them come in satin finish as standard, but you can order gloss finish in the walnut or indeed the silver oak. That's the fourth option, is a silver coloured oak. But I really like this nice light oak. obviously makes the most of the natural light flooding in through the windows, and there's that deck hatch overhead. And this is the ensuite door. It's the same bathroom I showed you earlier, but just from a different angle, so you can see you can lock that from the inside. So at night time it becomes a fully private ensuite bathroom just for the forward cabin. So just make our way back in. There's more storage here. See a full hanging wardrobe. And in fact, this bed, if you want to, you can have scissor action berths, so you can have it as two separate singles that move over to the side, but also come together to create a double when you need it. Just gives you a bit more flexibility. And again, there's storage under the berth itself, really deep drawers. There's another one the other side, but super handy to have, lots of extra storage. So open that up. Let's make our way back to the main owner's cabin. Now this was always a big selling point of the V58, and it's just as impressive today on this new V50. It is a full beam owner's cabin, made possible by using those IPS drives. That keeps the engines further back than it would be on shafts, and that's what frees up the extra footprint forward to create a full beam owner's cabin with the necessary length. And you can see you have got full standing headroom at the foot of the bed, both here, and in fact when you step up there is a little cutout in the deck head above us here that means you do get full standing headroom most of the way along this side, just until you get to about halfway along the bed, and then it's a bit more of a crouch. But big hull windows, nice opening sections, lots of storage either side of the bed. Again, alongside the bed itself, quite a low level bed. You can probably see it's just below knee height, but that's what gives you all that lovely space up above it, all the lovely light coming in through those big hull side windows. Nice settee on the starboard side, gives you a chance to sit down, means you don't have to sit on the bed. You can relax here, you can get dressed, put your shoes on while sitting down. Just a really luxurious space. Obviously we've got the ensuite bathroom here. Again, proper separate walk-in shower with its own opening port. The loo is behind the door, nice and discreet. Little basin, really nice curved finish on the wood in here. It's very Princess, it's always very discreet, nothing too showy, but beautifully done. Proper swing door there, just locks into place, little magnetic catch holds that there. And again, more storage under the bed, drawers under there. So there we have it. That is the Princess V50 Open. There is a deck saloon version which we'll try and catch up with as soon as we can. This particular boat, by the time you've put a few options on it and paid the VAT, it's going to be around about £1 million, ink, options and tax. So let's have a little look into the engine room if we can. There's a twist hatch access. There's every chance it might be a little bit unfinished down here too, since it's so new. But little vertical ladder down into the engine room. And here you can see those two IPS 650s. Obviously not a lot of clearance over them. That is the tender garage that I showed you earlier. So not a lot of clearance, but you can get down either side of them. Twin 480 horsepower. Obviously the pod drives, they're further back. I'm not going to be able to crawl all the way there, but I might just put the camera, you can see the pods going through the hull there. That's what keeps it all so compact, keeps the engines right at the back of the boat, and means all the space forward is free for accommodation. We can have a very quick look at the stats of this Princess V50. So length overall 52 foot 7 inches, beam 13 foot 4 inches, fuel capacity of 1,550 litres, and a water capacity of 414 litres. So those twin IPS 650s give a top speed of 30 to 32 knots. And the retail price around about £1 million ink VAT. We'll finish our tour of the Princess V50 Open with one final look at those very attractive lines. They always do it so well. They're just unfussy, stylish, beautifully done, and very well considered. Really good sea boats too, so hopefully we'll get an opportunity to experience it out on the sea before long. But I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the V50 Open. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to catching you on the next one.